I do not have to spend my time with a loser like you because I have other things to do and I have other people that I'd much rather hang out with, unless it's $1,000. I'm a virgin at this, so yeah. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Ali here, and boy do I have a story for you guys. Are you ready for this? Okay, so I receive a lot of emails, mostly from men. I get emails from women sometimes, but mostly from men. And a subset of those emails are usually requests of naked photos, video chats, phone chats, and stuff like that, which I usually never reply to. I don't really entertain those things. And then there's a handful that are some crazy requests. And most of the time it's like scam and catfishing stuff because you have this profile of what seems to be a really rich guy who's writing, saying he loves my content, he would love to spend time with me, and he'll pay me $30,000 and pick me up in his private jet, and with Gab maybe too sometimes. And I don't have to do anything at all. He's gonna give me the money. I don't even have to sleep with him. Just spend time. If I want to do stuff, I can, or trips or money, any kinds of these crazy things, you know? Most of the time, you can tell it's a catfish or a scam. Just the way the profile is, the too good to be true, the bad grammar, bad punctuation, things like that, you know? But sometimes for shits and giggles, we decide to entertain these things and kind of be like, all right, sure, like we'd be interested. You mean to tell me you're gonna send me this much money and I don't have to do anything? Yes. That's exactly it, and it's like, okay, great, I'm down. So I agreed to come with you or to do this, so send me the money, and then we can move forward from there. And then it comes with a, well, you know, how about we compromise a little bit? I'll send the money, I promise I will, but how about you just send me, you know, a photo in good faith of your tits or something? It's like, okay, buddy. Fully expecting that response. But then, a few weeks ago, I received an email from what seemed to be a pretty normal-ish person. I think so anyways. The email seemed very personable, very legit, very human-like. Someone writing to me, hey Ali, I watch your content. I really like your channel. Would you be interested in financially dominating me? Now, I don't know if you guys know what financial domination is. I know what it is. I've seen the Vice documentary many years ago. If you haven't yet, look it up on YouTube. You know, he continued to say, all you'd have to do is demand, let's say, $1,000 from me, and then I'd pay it. And then you would say that it's not enough, and you would mock me and humiliate me and demand for more. I'm not a creep or a stalker or anything. I'm a quiet guy, a successful guy who lives over there, and I just like this kind of play. Then, you know, I was like, oh, this is an interesting email. Like, he seems like a nice guy. I write him back and I say, thank you so much for following me. Thank you so much for supporting me. As you can imagine, I get so many emails like this promising things, money, and so on and so on. And they're always scams and catfish. So if you're serious, here's my PayPal account. Send me 300 bucks and then we'll get talking. Really not expecting it because, again, these things are always scams. A few minutes later, I get an email saying, done. I checked my PayPal account. I got $300 US in there, and I was like, what? So then I go see Gab and I say, he sent the money. I got the money in my account. And he was also like, what the fuck? No way. That's crazy. And so I was just like, I didn't know what to say or do. And FYI, before I continue, I will be posting a second version of this video on my Patreon, which I will be sharing with you the exact thread of messages that I sent to this gentleman. I won't be sharing that on YouTube, but you can check it out on the Patreon if you're interested and curious to know, and you can also let me know if I did a good job or not. I know financial domination exists, and in a fantasy world, I mean, it would be so great to find someone who's into this, where you can get large sums of money for making fun of somebody. In case you don't know what financial domination is, let me tell you a little bit about it, all right? Financial domination, what is it? Well, according to FinDom.com, aka Financial Domination, That's what the abbreviation is. They describe it as financial domination, FinDom, or wallet rape, as it is sometimes called, is a fetish where its participants, who are mostly male, enjoy the control and humiliation of a dominant female who are called mistresses or financial doms, aka FinDoms. Each pay pig, sub, money slave, money pig, or pay piggy, as they are sometimes called, may desire a different type of relationship between himself and his FinDom. After a sub has shown interest by paying a tribute, so a sum of money, to his FinDom, she would then interview him live on webcam before deciding to take him on and see what he would want from the relationship, and if she is the FinDom for him. There are many different ways in which a FinDom and pay-pig relationship can work, and each one can be different. So that's kind of it. FinDom sort of falls in the realm of BDSM, but it's not really impact play. It's more of a mind fuck kind of play, right? Because it doesn't necessarily have to involve any sex. I mean, it depends how you define sex, but what I mean is no penetration, no touching, no oral sex, no body contact. It doesn't have to involve exchange of photos or videos or nudes or anything like that. It can be purely word exchange based, I guess. Like they said, it's mostly men. I'm sure there's women that exist for this as well, but the majority are men. And a lot of them, but not all, are in high positions, high power positions, make a lot of money, and, you know, spend their days in managing people, controlling situations, and so on. So for them, it feels really good to give up the control and to give up their power, aka their money, and just give it to somebody else to, you know, decide what to do with it, to treat it like garbage, to humiliate them, to make fun of them. Like, this is what gets them off, okay? Now, there's a lot of information on Reddit as well. I was doing a lot of reading because, again, this is all new for me. I mean, I've heard about it, but I've never actually experienced it before. And they say that, you know, it's not necessarily a get-rich-quick scheme, because a lot of women also feel like they can go online and just put up a profile and expect men to come in and like give them money for humiliation. A lot of these women do this full time, really invest in their character and in their clients and so on. So if you want to be successful at it, you really got to put in the work, right? Although in this case for me, I didn't have to put in that much work because it just kind of fell on my lap for a short 24 hours. Anyways, so going back to my situation, after I got the $300, I was like, all right, I'm curious, you know, let's play. But I was also skeptical because I kept telling myself, what if this is a scam? What if he's right now hacking into my computer through my PayPal and going to steal all my money and things like that? So I wrote him back immediately in character, and I got into it right away and did what I thought, you know, FinDoms do, right? So again, I have no experience in this area at all. I have no practice. So I was just typing away whatever came into my head, hoping that it would do this man justice. And then after, I wrote a paragraph that said out of character, and I said, hey, like, this is new for me. I'm interested in trying it. Let's see how this goes. But I'm letting you know that Gab is involved, as in like he's going to be reading these messages as well, because I was also kind of nervous about my safety a little bit. And I made it clear I don't want to send any nudes or photos or images or videos or any stuff like that. And I also asked his permission if it was okay if I talked about it online, obviously, you know, with giving him discretion, of course, but that I can use it for content because it was a pretty interesting experience and I really wanted to share it with you guys. And he said, yes, no problem. Absolutely. Obviously, you know, giving him discretion. He's happy to try it as well, because apparently all the women online, like I was saying, a lot of women go online trying to find these guys to do FinDom stuff with. And for him, it just wasn't doing it for him. He said he wanted a nice, smart, intelligent woman. So he picked me, and yeah. So in that message that I sent him where I got into character, I said a bunch of stuff and I demanded some more money. And again, if you want to see the thread of messages, I'll read them on my Patreon video, okay? But I won't read them on here because there's, you know, some of it's a little foul. Then he wrote back with parentheses saying demand specific amount. So then I caught on. It means that whenever he writes in parentheses, it means that he's kind of out of character a little bit and he wanted specific amounts. So I wrote back again and I said, you know, yes, you mother. And I asked for $700. 2 seconds later, done, money in my PayPal. Gab and I were freaking out. We were laughing. Gab was saying, oh my God, like, I know you told me about this. I didn't think this actually existed. And I said, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is guy legit or what. But yeah, this is happening. So we went back and forth and exchanged a few emails. At one point, I asked him in brackets, feedback is welcome because I don't know how I'm doing here. And he said, OMG, you're a natural at this. So I was like, yay, I guess I'm doing a good job. And then this lasted maybe an hour or two of a few back and forths and more money. And at some point, I was just kind of wondering to myself, how long is this going to go on for? Like, do I keep milking it until no more? Or do I stop and kind of leave him wanting more? Because as much as I was invested in that, I was also working. We were at the hotel and I was doing other stuff at the same time, like, I don't know, cleaning out a closet or something. So I decided to tell him something like, you're boring me. You're a piece of shit. I don't want to waste my time on you anymore today. Maybe I'll feel like playing with you tomorrow. I don't know, like some stuff like that, and called it a day sort of thing. So I think that first day, within that hour or 2 hour exchange, I made just over like $2,500 or something like that. Wild, guys, wild. And then we were on a high. I was on a high, Gab was on a high, and I was just like, damn, like who has money to throw around like this, you know? I mean, we're not that rich, so I can't, I guess if I did have a lot of money, it would be like nothing for me to just kind of, you know, play with Monopoly money, let's say. But anyways, so the next morning comes around and I check my email and I see an email from him. And again, in parentheses, it says, be bold, be greedy, ask for more. So backtrack, as he's sending the money through PayPal, at some point, PayPal holds the money. So then he says he runs into a roadblock and he says, oh shit, PayPal is holding the money. You know, they're flagging it for fraud. And yeah, so then I'm like, oh shit, like we have to keep the funds coming. How are we gonna do this? So I suggested he use Wise, which is a platform that we usually use for international transfers. That's pretty accurate. And he didn't have Wise, so then he downloaded it and so on. And that part was kind of not that sexy, you know? But I mean, you gotta work these logistics out. But I guess it's best to work them out before you get into the characters, right? Again, all a learning experience. So the next day comes, I wake up and I go check my email and I have one from him and he writes in parentheses again, be bold, be greedy, ask for more. So I say, OMG. I write back this long email, again, just kind of pulling it out of my ass, hoping that this is what he's expecting. I wasn't sure how much I should humiliate him. I wasn't sure about any boundaries at all, really. And boom, he sends more money. I think I asked for $1,000 or $1,500. So we're just getting the day started, right? So then I request some more money. And then all of a sudden he says, oh, Wise blocked me. I have to call my bank. So I'm waiting and then I write him back some stuff. And then he writes me back and he says, oh, like they're blocking my money. This is such a buzzkill. And then I write him back again and then nothing. Nothing. A few hours go by, nothing. Then I realized, okay, I think the thrill is over for him. The logistics got too complicated and poof, he just disappeared like that. And honestly, I was a little sad and offended because at the beginning I told him, look, let's try this. And if it doesn't work out or if one of us wants to stop, let's just tell each other like, okay, this was fun, but let's stop now kind of thing. I mean, I'm a chill person. I would have accepted that. But he ghosted me. And I mean, if you're watching this right now, no hard feelings, all right? I get it. I guess this is part of the FinDom relationship thing, because after that, I started doing research on Reddit about subs ghosting doms, and there's a whole thread on it. And apparently it's a thing, you know, and there are many different reasons where the guy got the thrill. You know, you never know what's going on in their personal lives. Maybe they have no more money. Maybe, you know, family, wife, kids, like you have no idea. You have no idea, right? And then I just started diving more into it and learning about, you know, how FinDom relationships start, the boundaries that are set up, you know, especially with money, because you have to talk about some limits. You know, some of these people, some of these men don't have a lot of money, but they have an addiction to this FinDom thing. So there's these average salary guys who are giving all their money away and essentially going broke and not being able to provide for their family and such because they have these secret fetishes with giving their money away to women. So I guess it's a thing if you are a FinDom to talk about this, if you get a sub or a pay pig or a money slave or whatever. And, you know, if you have, and I guess if you're going to do it in an ethical and a moral way, then you have to sort of talk about these things and respect these boundaries a little bit. I also learned that you can get men or whoever the sub is to do your homework. So yes, they give money, but you can also ask them to do tasks for you, right? It's part of the domination. So asking them to do humiliating things for you. And I saw a video of a girl the other day who made a guy do her homework, and she called him the homework slave, which is hilarious and really smart, by the way. I saw other videos on YouTube where girls were doing live drains, where they drain the men of their money. So they sit there with their phone and they put in a request and they show like, oh, look, I just asked him for 200 bucks and I bet you he doesn't have the money. Ah, he sent me the money, but that's not enough. I'm worth more than that. He's such a piece of shit. No, I'm asking for 500. Ah, there it is. All right. And they just kind of keep going and going and draining them of their cash. But honestly, guys, easiest 5Gs I ever made in my life. All right. In 24 hours, I didn't have to show any nudity, nothing. I just had to exchange words of humiliation, which, by the way, I don't know if I did a good job at or not. If you want to check out the Patreon video, you can, and let me know. Please give me some feedback, because I mean, if there's someone out there who wants to give me another chance of trying this, I'm down to try. All right. I can be quite word savvy. You know, I'm a great sexter. I mean, if you want me to call you a piece of shit and tell you that you are dog shit at the bottom of my shoe and you should kiss the ground that I walk on because I am way too good for you, I do not have to spend my time with a loser like you because I have other things to do and I have other people that I'd much rather hang out with, and there is no amount of money that you could pay me that would make me want to give you any ounce of my time, unless it's $1,000, and then we'll see if that's good enough. I'm a virgin at this, so yeah. It's been a few months, and yes, I have not heard from him. But yeah, if you're interested in getting involved in the community, there's FinDom.com, and apparently on Twitter, it's a great space for FinDoms and to meet subs, all right? So that's the story of my very short-lived career as a FinDom. And if you're interested in hearing the thread of messages that I sent over the 24 hours, you can click on the link below and check out my Patreon. Again, I didn't post it on YouTube because some of it is a little bit foul and I want to keep it a little bit intimate and private, you know? So if you want to check it out, you can. All right, so that's it. If you have any questions or comments, or you want to share some experiences and stories about your own FinDom or FinSub experiences, please drop them in the comments below, because I, for one, would love to hear more about this community. All right, friends, thank you so much for watching. Je vous aime.